Hi, Dougie Bird here for Doug Burt's Tackle World here on the Gold Coast with the fishing report for this weekend, the 11th and 12th of July. So firstly, I'd like to let you all know, to remind you before and after this, that the pearl perch and snapper closure starts on this Tuesday night at 12 a.m, which is actually becomes the 15th, of course. So 12 a.m. on the 15th through to midnight on the 16th, or 12 a.m. on the 16th. Bit tricky one. Anyhow, that's when it's on. And so you can't chase pearl perch and snapper. I don't even know you're allowed to target the fish. It's a bit of a grey one, that one, but it is a bycatch, of course, this time of the year. But so just stay away from the pearl perch and snapper fishery during that period and you'll be pretty safe. If you do catch one as bycatch when you're not actually fishing for them, you must let it go. It doesn't matter if it's 80 centimeters, you have to let it go bye-bye. And it's a little one, throw it back. If it floats belly up, it becomes fish food / bird food, shark food. Unfortunately, that's the rules and that's the way it is. As far as I know, if you go over New South Wales border and fish New South Wales waters and come back into Queensland, you can be fined, I think, for actually have snapper in possession in Queensland. It's a bit of a tricky one, that one too, and I need to confirm more on that, but I saw a guy this week about it and that seems to be the scenario. Same case if you go through the seaway, head down to New South Wales, catch the fish in New South Wales, but you're still bringing fish that are not meant to be in your possession back into Queensland waters. So looks like you can't go salmon fishing or pearl perch. So my suggestion is, for the offshore report, is go hard this weekend, the next few days. It looks like the weather's coming in crappy on Monday. So go hard as you can. Tomorrow is definitely the day. Sunday is not too bad. I'd be fishing the 50 fathom reef for snapper and pearl perch. 36 fathom reefs definitely for a bit bigger snapper, particularly up north of the seaway. There's quite a few guys fishing that snapper comp put on by the Sport Fish Club, the Gold Coast Sport Fishing Club, which runs tomorrow, I think, from 5:30 a.m. till 1 p.m. Great comp. So you can go into their website online, you can enter from there. Great competition, and there'll be a few boats out there. So it'll be a bit busy tomorrow, perhaps. I'm at work, unfortunately, but that's the way it is. So definitely 36 is northeast and further up. So look at the Cathedral area, which is northeast of the pin bar on the 36 fathom reef. Around about a 48k run, but good fishing out that way, and it goes all the way up towards Point Lookout. Just inside of there, you've got a lot of good spots with big snapper in that 50 to 54 metre mark, or 48 to 54 metre mark, which is north of Sully's. There's a lot of bumps that run along that area, all the way up to near Point Lookout. Big fish there. And then if you want to get to the 50 fathom reef, it's not much further on the other side, heading east from the 36s up that way. So a good place to probably try as well. So yeah, look at for snapper guys, that's going to be the go. In close here off the Gold Coast, the water has dropped on the 24 fathom reef from 21.8 a few days ago to about 20.5. So it has dropped, which may mean that we might get a few snapper over the next couple of days in close here. The moon does set tomorrow at about 10:30, 11 o'clock, so it's going to be an early morning bite right through to that period of time, and then you'll get another bite on about an hour and a half after the high tide after lunch. So it's nearly an all-day bite perhaps, but definitely getting better than it was last weekend in the full moon. So give that a shot. If you want to also chase just normal salmon fishing close, definitely a few cobia caught this week, quite a few jewfish caught this week, all on the 12, 18 and 24 fathom reefs. Live bait is definitely the go. If you guys did get them on soft plastics, I was speaking to a guy today, got a 18 kilo cobia on his soft plastic outfit fishing for snapper during the week, early in the week. Great fish and great effort, took him an hour and a half though, but good fun. So if you cobia around, I'd definitely probably, if you're going to try for snapper, head down towards off Main Beach or even further down towards Q1 at 2758 to 2800 latitude. Yeah, so give that a go. Offshore, other than that, probably the only thing offshore which is close to the beach would be Taylor. guys going offshore and casting back into the surf when the swell drops off. So next Monday and Tuesday, we've got pretty strong westerlies before a horrid southerly comes in. So that's the time when the swell drops off that you go in on the beach there and cast your lures and get those monster tailor out, which are 70 centimetres or 75 centimetres. Great fun on poppers, stick baits, and some of those heavy casting lures that actually swim with a bib on them. So give that a shot. For the guys that are going to go deep this weekend, I'd be going tomorrow. The weather looks best tomorrow. Out in that sort of 250 to 300 metre mark. There's been quite a few flame snapper caught. A lot of guys are finding the area. And so good on you. There's a few bar cod there as well, kingies, the odd snapper. Not that we're fishing for snapper after the 15th, but they're a very limited bycatch. But the fishing's been really good. I'd be definitely trying out perhaps in about 400 to 500 metres around Jimmy's Mountain and River Grounds for some blue eye, or down at the Kink, not the Kink, sorry, the canyons down at Tweed Heads. Definitely worth a try as well. So the target species for those of you who can get out there over that 1 month closure period would definitely be to focus on jigging, because there are just so many kingfish and amberjack out on the 50 fathom reef at the moment, and deep dropping out further, because the bottom fishing at deep dropping at the moment is just incredible. And lots of kings out there, and you can jig in 250 metres as well, which is great fun. Hard work, but great fun on a light line. So please don't use too big an outfit if you're jigging in that sort of 100 to 300 metre depth. These days, the old days we used to use like a TN40 big jig reel on a heavy rod and a 400 gram jig. These days it's more gentleman fishing, but still hard work to get them out, is to drop back to like a 30 pound braid or a 40 pound braid and 400 metres of line on the reel minimum. And we're fishing like a 4.5 or a 4,000 size reel that'll hold that capacity of very, very thin line, and like a P2 to 4 rod. So very nice light rod, and just half little turn or half turn, full turn, slow pitch jigging, using about 130 to 250 gram jigs and getting down that depth in 250 metres or more. So great fun. So change your thinking on the heavy jigging to the lighter jigging, and you're going to catch probably more fish, more kings, and a lot easier on you. And you want to drop down straight away again, rather than think about the hard work it's going to take if you don't get a bite and give up on the scenario. So it makes you fish all day actually. So look at doing that, and the electric reel fishing. So that's what you're going to look at doing over the next sort of period if you're into fishing it wide. For those of you who are fishing in close during that closure, I'd be probably going to definitely live bait fishing and looking at concentrating on cobia, jewies, whatever's big out there. Unfortunately, there's always going to be mac tuna out there, so good fun. There's not much else you can do, because unfortunately snapper are a very common caught species on the close local reefs. So to get away from doing that, you have to change your tactics and think something else. If you go fishing soft plastics, you're going to catch snapper still. So you have to look at probably doing something different, like I said, live baits. So that's offshore. Just for the record, the current at the moment is about 1.3 knots as far as I know. It's not too bad. There's a little bit of current out wider, but it's definitely fishable, not too bad. But just remember that that weather's going to be really horrid during the week. It's going to be a howling southerly by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Next Sunday, not this Sunday, but the following one, looks like an absolute glamour at this stage, but I definitely would think that would change over the next few days. We'll see how that goes. But at this stage, it's showing like 4 to 8 knots for the whole day. So plan that one into your diary. So that's it for offshore, guys. Inshore, Jumpinpin area, still heaps of tailor up there, heaps of tailor. Heaps of tailor caught last week on the gutter, just on the northern end of the South Straddle there, casting lures, and some metals, and also, like I said, small stick baits and hybrid type casting lures without bibs. And heaps of whitey out there, heaps of bream around Crusoe Island, the northeastern corner of Crusoe along the mud bank there, heaps of bream along Kalinga Bank down towards the Duck Creek there on the eastern side of it, and there are a few flatties on the western end of Kalinga Bank. few jewies in the bar. Just got to be careful of the green zone. It's such a grey area. Again, so many grey areas in a fishing trade, isn't there? In a fishing scenario. There's a green zone, supposedly goes out into the water, depends which national parks or fisheries officers on at the time as to where the line is. But just be wary. Some say that it's out in the water somewhere where you fish generally, and others say it's up against the shoreline. So it's a tricky one, that one. So I can't give you a definite on that because I'm not a national parks person, but one day we'll get them on and they can tell us all about it. Anyhow, but yeah, a few tail around and a few sand crabs in Tippler's Channel. A few good flatties caught this week, up around that 75 centimetre mark. Again, around the flats, around Pandanus Island, the Bedroom, and the back of Tippler's Islands there behind Tippler's Resort. So yeah, flatties are good. They're starting to show up, which is really good. Down around sort of Jacobs Well, west side, always get a few bream off the shoreline there. A few flatties around Cabbage Street Point, and a few flatties also in the channels around Cabbage Street Point as well, heading up to Rocky Point. I would probably then head down around Pimpamar River. We're going that way. Definitely a few whiting in the Pimpamar still. They've been around all year. Around Diamond Head down to the mouth of Pimpamar, around the banks there, yabbies to the go, and worms, and a couple of muddies around, but it's been a bit quiet in the muddies. The water's starting to get a bit cool in the estuary compared to offshore, and but definitely hits a brim. Down further towards Sovereign Island, the fishing to the Broadwater's just been the best. It's been incredible. So I would definitely look at fishing from Sovereign all on the Western Channel to Bayview Harbour, and along that channel you're going to get parrotfish, you're going to get heaps of diver whiting up to about sort of that 23 centimetre mark, but diver whiting don't have a size limit. I wouldn't keep them under 20, 23 because they're selling a little fillet, but they're really nice to eat. But there's plenty of them there, just drifting the channel with yabbies or worms, or working small soft plastics or small bibes. Works very well. Heaps and heaps of squid there, so many squid. You probably saw it on the Facebook page the other day. I took my son out on Sunday for a couple of hours, and like we've stopped at 17 because it was enough. It was heaps. And I have to admit, our family ate all those squid in 3 days. 3 nights we had squid, all different meals. My wife cooked all these beautiful salads and different types of squid meals, and that's fantastic. So we're out of squid again now, but that's another point. So squid all on that western side, and also on the eastern side too, anywhere from sort of Browns Inlet right down to Perry's Banks, which is sort of where the old deep hole is, opposite Runaway Bay Canal entrance. So on that eastern channel that goes all the way along from near Sovereign, opposite Sovereign, all the way down to the Seaway, you'll get the same scenario there. You get parrotfish, and you get the diver whiting, and you get bream and flatties as bycatch, and you'll get the squid as well. And with the squid, just keep your lure very close to the bottom. Please remember, arrow squid are very different to calamari or tiger squid in their characteristics. So your calamari, tiger / squid are more around weed beds, shallow weed beds, and rock walls and jetties and pylons and lights at night time, where the arrow squid are dead set in the middle of the channel, down on the bottom. They're in 6 meters, 8 meters of water, whatever it might be, and you've got to work the bottom, and it's a very different scenario. But with the calamari squid, you'll only normally get those like loners, 1 or 2. Sometimes they'll be schooled up, and I have done really well in that scenario, but nothing like the arrow squid. The arrow squid are always schooled up. So if you've got one coming in, have another jig ready to throw because his mate, or 3 mates or 5 mates, will be right there with him, and he just keep catching them. And they're quite decent size. They're all sizes from small to big, but some of the hoods are close to 25, 30 centimeters long. They're quite big, and great fun to catch them and great to eat. They don't spurt as much ink as the calamari squid do as well, so a bit more user-friendly at the boat end. From the shoreline, very hard to catch them, unfortunately. You could maybe get them down at Labrador, where the channel comes in really close. I think it's the end of Taylor Street or Parr Street, which is pretty well where that little roundabout is, and there's a little car park on the Broadwater there. Just you walk down there from that, down to the Broadwater from there, the shoreline, the channel comes in really close to the shoreline, and at low tide, you'd have a good chance, I think, of maybe picking up a few squid there if you just cast that whole edge, that deep drop off there across to the channel, and just work a squid jig back. But generally speaking, high tide and the first to run out is the go. So that's about it for that area of the Broadwater. The seaway's been fishing really well. Every year in July, for many years, we've been catching our GTs in the seaway. The GT trevally are around that 2 to 4 kilo size on average, and great fun to catch. We catch them normally using metals and jigging, and we try and anchor up right on the edge of the current line on the run-in tide on the north wall. So we're just on one side of the boat is ripping at 4 knots running in. On the other side of the boat, it's actually got a bit of a back eddy or no current. So you can sit right on that edge, and that's where the drop off is as well. And that's what you jig. And yeah, you'll catch each trevally there at the moment. A few jewies there as well on live baits. You will get them on plastics and other lures as well, but definitely on the live baits. Live pike, live tailor, yakkers, slimies, all the scenario, above scenario. And fishing on the jewies, I don't mind fishing that stage of the tide too, but I do like the last to run out. It's very good there too. So just give it a shot. Heading up the Broadwater towards the Gold Coast Bridge. I believe, I haven't tried yet, but I would dare think that those squid and the parrotfish and the whiting will be all the way on that eastern channel that runs from the seaway all the way down to Mirage or Mariners Cove. So the main channel, if you just drift that, I would dare think 100% you'll get the same fish as we're getting down towards Runaway Bay way. Give that a go. Up the river, yeah, a few whiting up around, what do we call up around the Gold Coast City Council chambers, or now it's got come to the name, so it's got an arts name, but up that area has been good at night time. And the tides at the moment, you've got bottom of the tide and running up just after dark, so not a bad tide last to run out and first to run in. Give that a go. And that's probably up the river. On the beaches have been really good for tailor. Like the tailor, as I said, up the Jumpinpin area and on Strady, they've been exceptionally good. One of my mates, Jace, and his son Lockie fished the outside of the Strady last weekend in their boat, and just go into the gutters and fish in the gutters and drop them back out of the gutter to the next one. They pulled about 50 tailor during the day for about 4 or 5 hour period, and they got I think 12 over 65 centimetres. The biggest was 74, 72, 71 centimetres, and the rest were well over 65 in that dozen big fish. And the rest of the fish are all good size as well. So awesome effort on lures, and a great day. You'll see some of those photos on our Facebook report when it comes out sometime tonight when I get a chance. That's probably about it on the beach for the Strady. Obviously, if you go over there in your boat and walk across at the south Courage area, what we call the Duck Pond, walk across there to the main surf beach at night time and fish up there late afternoon, early night. You'll definitely get some good tailor. Try and fish with strip baits like bonito, horse mackerel, or any tuna flesh, about the size of 2 fingers on 2 hooks with a swivel between, and a big decent sinker. Just get it out the back there and just wait for that big tailor to come along. Along the spit, I would be definitely trying just south the jetty, and opposite SeaWorld Phillip Park. Just walk out the beach there, walk about 200 metres north. There's always a good hole there. We'll be trying definitely around Narrowneck, and also down around Focus, opposite Focus building in that area. Yeah, good tailor fishing. Try and get down there around about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and generally by about 7 it's all over. The morning bite's not as good as the afternoon bite, but you can give it a shot. There's nothing better than being down there in the morning. The trouble is it's cold. Night time's not as cold. It's still cold, but not as cold. But give that a shot. Talking about cold, waders are hard to get. My gosh, we're run out of waders, but we've got more coming. But they're really hard to get. Everyone's feels the cold, I guess, and just no one's got waders. But yeah, we'll have them soon. And then down over the border, or down south at the Gold Coast, Tugun down to, or actually started Burley Heads. Burley Headland's really good fishing for tail off the rocks. So you've got to be careful, just they're big round boulders, a little bit slippery, particularly at low tide. And but good tailor fishing there with spinning metals like 40 to 80 gram lures, raiders, and any other type metal in that situation style, and casting off the rocks. Work your way from pretty well the eastern point of the rocks and around towards Talia, just a little tiny bit. You've got to find a good spot there where they are. You'll see birds diving around or whatever it might be, bit of bait, and that's where you're casting. Further down the coast, maybe try around Point Danger, not Point Danger, further down, sorry. Other side of Tweed River on the south side, the first rocky outcrop down there before Pottsville, I can't remember the name of it, sorry, but in that area of that first rocky headland is really, really good. Down towards Cabarita, opposite Caravan Park at Cabarita, there's always a good hole for Taylor, and further down towards Brunswick at New Brighton's always a good area as well. And that's probably about it. Tweed River, sorry, just real quickly, a few good flatties in Tweed River, and a few whiting as always. There's plenty of bream around the trawler jetty there and on the jetties near Boys Bay Bridge. And I would definitely try and probably Talbudger and Crumlin Creeks between the two highway bridges. It seems to be the best area. Get flatties, get whiting, get bream. Good place to take the kids down for a fish. And if you want to go for a bit of freshwater fish, Hins Dam this last week, I haven't heard much, but I do know there'll be big bass there. Definitely, they just got to try and find where they're schooled up and work them with jigs, like a flutter style jig, around that 20-30 gram size. Plastics on the bottom, just hop them really slowly on the bottom, and maybe spinner baits or service poppers, little cicada walkers, first thing in the morning or later, just on dark. A couple of friends went out to Maroon Dam during the week, and they got plenty of red claw and a few yellow belly and bass. My sister was out at Mulgra. It was a bit quiet there. That was last week. It was a bit cold, and the fish were a bit shut down. But yeah, obviously the freshwater this time of year is a bit quiet. Anyhow, that's probably about all I've got to tell you. The rest of it will be in the report when it goes out, probably about 11 o'clock tonight. I don't have a time, folks, so I'm so sorry it's a bit late. Been a bit of a busy week, as always. But going to try and do that on a Thursday night, then do this on a Friday night. That's the plan. We'll see how we go. Anyhow, good luck on the weekend. Get there. Good, and for those of you fishing the snapper comp, good luck. Hope you get some tomorrow. And for those of you who are just going to go for a general fish with the kids or your mates or your family or yourselves, enjoy the tranquility. And please remember about the snapper closure and pearl perch closure starting next week. So thank you, Bert. Oh, just real quickly, folks, to let you know too, the special we had last week, which was 30% off all of our terminal gear and lures, is continuing on this week as well. And we'll look after you if you need anything there as well. Thank you very much, and catch you soon. Thank you. Good night. Bye.